Oh, yeah. I know y'all like that file when we just put out with Jordan Maxwell. Part 3 will be dropping tomorrow. Part 3 will be dropping tomorrow. We walking you back. We getting you back on point. We get you back on point, man. We clearing it all up. We making it clear. We cleaning it all up for you. Never have it been made so clear. And keep in mind, we had put that tape out a long time ago, but we had to take it down and remix it. We still got copyrighted on it, but we won't get a copyright takedown on it because you can't just take something off somebody's page exactly what they got. You got to chop it up, and you know what I'm saying? All my YouTube guys know what's going on. Hey, shout out Black Magic. I said they going live right now. Red Pill probably going in. The Almighty Intelligence versus Artificial Intelligence. That joint sound hot. So you want to check that joint out till you get off this joint if you're going to be on here with us tonight. Check that joint out on Black Magic channel, man. That joint going to be hot. I'm going to check that joint out. Definitely. That red pill on that joint, you already know what's going down. But we in the building right now. We're going to be in the building with Rod Hayes and Dr. Kia. This is about to be a historical event. You don't want to miss this. We're warming up the stage right now. I'm getting the thumbnail and everything lined out before they come in the building, man. Peace, peace, family. Hotel. You in the building with the 23rd elder. And all we doing is cleaning it up for you. So you can't say, hey, man, I ain't know what was going down. Hey, Jordan Maxwell just crack heads and twist caps. Hey, stop that knocking. Might be Tahuti. Tahuti always knock before he come in. All right. We're going to get them on in just a second. We just got to get that thumbnail for you. Oh, yeah. There we go, baby. Yes, sir. Let me switch to that laptop, man. We're going to open up, okay? I'm finna let you in right now, Rod. Let me switch to the laptop. Let me switch to this laptop. Oh, man, hold up. Oh, crap. Hey, Robot, I got the brother Rod in the waiting room. I'm finna let him in right now. I'm finna let you in right now, Rod. Let me load it up. Okay, here you go, right here. Let me switch to this laptop. Here I go. Here you go, Rod. I guess I got to switch to the laptop. Got it. Boom. All right. We lit. We live in the building. Hey, Rod, you saw the sister link?
Yeah. Let me tell her to come in.
Oh, yeah, we already lit, man. Let me get that screen shit. Let's see. Oh yeah, Rod. And then I got some of your other receipts, like the George Washington quotes and all that about the fit. So I know I found all the receipts that we had already had and just put them in a folder too. So you can in case you want to rock that too. You know what I'm saying?
And I wanted to open up with the George Washington challenge.
Okay. So I got that already, everything already. Okay, here we go right here.
So while we waiting on her to chime in,
that's right there, man.
Okay, well, let her on in.
Yes, sir. No sweat. We lit, we live, y'all.
It's about to be a historical event.
I can't see you all.
Oh,
Can you hear us? Oh, she ain't up.
hey, you probably can't see it's because got the screen. Damn, this thing. You probably can't see it's because got the screen, sharing the screen for the receipts. Robot. Peace, love, harmony. Can you hear us? Hey, Rod.
I don't know where she at. Is she still in the call?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Is our mute? Is our microphone on mute?
No, I don't think so.
I heard her talking, and I don't see her. I don't hear her no
right,
more.
Let me stop sharing the screen for a second. Hold up. Let me see something. Okay. There you go, right there. Can you see it? Can y'all see each other?
I can only see you. Oh, there she go. I see her now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How you doing, beloved?
Oh, there we go. Peace, kings, gods.
It was our pleasure to have some divine feminine energy
Should,
over here today.
should.
So we're gonna go
Thank you.
through. We're gonna be going over some receipts that we reviewed before, but we're gonna put them in a
Okay.
different order this time.
Okay.
And then if you see anything that spark your interest, just ask the question.
Okay.
All right. So well, before we get started, we wanted to tell the people who haven't seen you over here on Young Elder before who you are. Tell them about your channel and the information that you be unloading over there.
Okay, I dropped my notes. I guess maybe I'm supposed to speak without them. Peace, family. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I am the divine feminine, also known as Mama. They call me Mama Kia. I am your beloved sister, goddess, teacher, friend, and for all intents and purposes, Mama, divine Mama. So on my channel, which is called Dr. Kia Pruitt, what we do is we bring information and intel to raise the vibrations of the planet, to make sure that everybody has joy, peace, love, prosperity, and an abundance mindset. Okay. And the reason why we do this is because there has been so much intel and information that has brought the vibrational frequencies of the planet down that we have emitted a psychic energy called loosh. And loosh is what those nefarious beings that have come to the planet eat. Okay, so they absorb it, they eat it, just like the creator absorbs, sits in, and inhabits the praise of his and her people. Those nefarious entities eat and feed off that psychic negative energy that we emitted from being traumatized, upset, tortured, and enslaved as a race. And when I talk about race, I mean as the human species, because we are all one, right? So that's what we do, my darling. We bring intel and information to raise the vibrations of the planet. Yes.
So in the current events aspect, you be telling us a lot what's going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Is it any updates you have for us on what you've been informed of lately?
Actually, the latest update I have is that Israel made an agreement through Netanyahu to have peace between him and Saudi Arabia. That was one of and I thought that was very interesting when you consider, this fight and this battle that's been going on between Ishmael and Isaac. So it's also important and in alignment with the Nasara law and Jasara law that we must have world peace in order to ascend as a planet. So that's one of the things that's an update. And another thing is that now 85 to 90% of the global population is returning to the gold standard, which is God's money. So that's huge because the United States dollar is declining in value. It's not in alignment with our republic, which is our lawful government. It's not in alignment with our constitution. Yes, using the dollar. So it's declining in value. And as the USD declines in value, gold and silver raises in value. Gold and silver also raises the vibrational frequencies of the planet. And that's why they talked about the C word, CORONA, being a part of that sickness, because it really wasn't about that sickness. Okay, because
it was about that crown.
Come on through here. The crown, right? As in corrupting, well, I don't know if you could say the word, as in reigning, as in raising our consciousness, Christos consciousness, as in getting this crown and our thinking in order as a people, and more importantly for us here, indigenous people who are the organic people on this planet. Come on here, somebody. Can I get a witness?
You're trying to give me the Holy Ghost over here.
Will raise the vibrational frequencies. That's why we eat it. That's why we ingest it through colloidals. And as Baba Delbert Blair taught us, through monoatomic, we eat it, we absorb it, we wear it. It is our jewelry. It's our wealth. So we are being restored and returned to the standard as a whole society. So those are the two things that I desire to bring to you as being updates for us as a global people.
So two things I noticed that you mentioned was the organic people.
Yes.
Realizing their crown.
Yes. Yes.
And then you mentioned that with this vibrational shift comes the gold and the silver, the wealth.
Yes, sir.
Then to tie that into what I've been talking about over the last few months was the Haitian Revolution.
Okay.
That louche energy that you speak of is very dense in Haiti because they haven't closed the war conjure.
Mm.
The war conjure closed when they have a state recognition ceremony for the Oshun priestess that was sacrificed for the success of that conjure, which opened up that louche cesspool. So if you go to Haiti, everybody in Haiti not poor.
Okay.
They got gated communities in Haiti.
No way.
Yes.
Okay.
And here's the suspicious thing to me. The first place that Cristobal Colombo, the Colon, landed was Hispaniola.
Okay.
This is Dominica, Haiti. That was where it all started. And that's got to be where it all ends.
Wow.
So we moving the frequencies and riding the energy waves of the weather patterns, the movement of the animals, and the alignment to the stars and the UVB rays that's coming in to awaken the dormant DNA to allow our frequency to elevate. This is the planetary ascension that you mentioned.
Wow.
So how they've been keeping this energy low was through mass slaughter, what we call them slaughterhouses. This is Babylonian blood magic. The purpose of Babylonian blood magic is to make the women go into a stupor. It's an angelic defense system. Large amounts of the pheromone produced by fear causes the women to know it's not safe. So they turn back their energy to match the regular humans.
Wow.
So now the enemy can't see them, they cloaked. Right? Okay. So now we get the women back, their rituals and their practices, and we tell them the instructions on how to move the energy back to the original point that the drama started.
Okay.
Okay, it started in 1492. It's a 500-year war, protracted struggle. The circumstances of the conflict changed from warfare, which was a continuous bloodletting phenomenon based on the Babylonian blood magic. If you go to the Creature from Jekyll Island, they talk about the founding of the Federal Reserve, but they don't tell you that they use the energy of our ancestral burial ground by building structures on top of the burial sites of the most powerful chiefs to walk the land. Just so happened to be buried in what they call Jekyll Island.
Okay.
Pull the veil back, and what happens? Dr. Jekyll is the alter ego for who? Mr. Hyde.
Mr. Hyde, yes.
And what is he hiding behind? He's hiding behind the veil of secrecy.
Okay.
So when you pull the curtain back, what they gonna say? This is the motherfucker right here?
Yes.
Right? All
Just
the
like,
time the wizard has been driving Big Mama's ship without her permission. So now we put the wizard on notice, evicting from Big Mama's cockpit and reclaim the earth for the earthborn. The earthborn, the earth rights goes to the women. Mitochondrial sync to the planet, which goes back to that ascension you're talking about. Right? So they came over here 500 years ago because they got kicked out of Europe.
Right.
By the Algonquins, by the Algonquins who went to the Iberian Peninsula to aid in the turmoils that was going on with the priesthood. When they got kicked out of Europe, guess where they came? Over here.
Here. Okay.
Now they look like us, but they ain't us.
Okay. Okay.
So now all of the people who know that we look alike, can't tell us apart, got to treat us the same regardless. So if they're gonna mistreat the invaders, they're gonna have to mistreat us the same because they can't tell us apart. Only one of us gonna realize that we two different groups of people occupying the same place, using catch terms to classify us together as a single entity, terms like Moor and terms like Cherokee. They use these terms to stamp out the organic people of the land like we don't know our legacy. This takes us to the first slide, young girl. We want to pull up the George Washington challenge and want to go over that again.
Brother Hayes, can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
You said they came over here. Now, we were told in United States so-called American history that the Caucasians are the ones that came over here.
They came later.
Okay, so when you said that came, you're talking about the Moors?
Yeah, the conquistadors.
Okay, I just wanted to make that clear because we don't hear this. This is wonderful knowledge. That
I'm just right now. We finna go over the receipts to show you what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So right here is what's called the George Washington Challenge. This comes out of the Masonic records from the George Washington Masonic Memorial. This was the challenge between the ones who wore the feathers, us, and the ones who wore the fezzes. Notice that in the George Washington Memorial, there is a display of Moorish fezzes, but there's no record of the feathers. Because they claiming first right to the birthright to the land, because George Washington said that we won't be able to tell in 200 years who's who. Right? So, young elder, pull up those fezzes right here that you're looking at. These are the Moors who came from Spain under the penalty of death, which we're gonna get to they blood oaths in a minute. But the sword on their head represent the penalty of death if they betray the oath. But we can discover it as one of the chiefs on the land and tell our people without consequence.
Okay.
So these are the dirty players. One of those Fezes was the translator for Lewis and Clark. We know him as Benjamin Banneker or Big Ben Bay. Okay, so let's read the George Washington Challenge and examine it, and you're going to notice conspicuously that the feathers is missing from the challenge.
Okay.
If we would agree to take the fezzes and the turbans off the Moor's head and remove the sandals from their feet. Moors didn't wear sandals when they came over here. That's the challenge. Can we tell the difference or what side of the water we belong on? We wore moccasins, and they call moccasins sandals in European tongue.
Okay. Okay.
So when they say remove the sandals, they talking about us, because we the ones who's supposed to walk free on the land. Right? This ties back to the 400-year contract under the Bible. Nailing the Christ's feet to the cross so they can't traverse the land freely. All right. And he enforced severe punishments. That's the most critical aspect of it. The enforcement of the severe punishment is to create psychic trauma that carries on for generations until it's self-perpetuating. And to also swear a death oath between ourselves to religiously and faithfully not allow anyone to teach the Moorish children who they really were or who their forefathers were, and only allow the Moorish children to be taught that they were truly Negroes, Black people, and colored folks. And they ain't even got African American in there. 200 years from today, the Moorish people, now they saying this as a catch term. We got to remember that, because they mixing a group of indigenous tribes called the Amaru with the French contingent known as Marais.
Okay.
But they all melanated and they look like us. Okay, so 200 years from now, we not supposed to know the nationality nor the national name of their forefathers. Also, they would not know from which land or ancestors that they are descended from. So the conjure that they talking about was the George Washington Challenge was feathers versus fezzes.
Okay.
The war bonnets was kept by the elder women in Mexico while all of this is going on. They still down there waiting to return the chiefs back to their feathers.
Okay.
But we have to overcome the confusion of us versus the ones that came in to permanently replace us, called the Dirty Moors. Right? So the ones called the righteous Moors are the ones who stand in the position of right.
Okay.
We are organically synced to the land of the Americas. We can't go nowhere because we're going to pop right back up after we die. Right over here on the same longitude, latitude that we're supposed to come back in. Right? So the confusion of who we are we conquistadors or are we Washington D Dung de Mounja? Which one is we? Right? Did we get kicked out of Spain or was we already here? This was the great question, which takes us here to Albert Pike, author of the Morals and Dogma Blueprint to execute the protocols of Zion. Masonry, like all religions, all the mysteries, conceals its secrets from all except the adepts and sages or the elect, and uses false explanations and misinterpretations of its symbols to mislead those who deserve only to be misled. The blue degrees are but the outer court or portico of the temple. Part of the symbols are displayed there to the initiate, but he is intentionally misled by false interpretations. It is not intended that he shall understand them, but it is intended that he shall imagine he understands them. Their true explication is reserved for the adepts, the princes of Masonry. So right here, he's going over the fact that even they very own, they lie to him. And if you ain't one of the princes, then you're not worthy to receive the right information.
Mm.
So in this case, the depths of this land was the chiefs, the full-feathered chiefs. The great Pequot slaughter that became known as Black Friday was on the heels of our harvest festival of the chief. It was the final harvest festival of the year, aside from the, because it's after the pumpkin festival, which became Halloween.
Wow.
So now in the Morals and Dogma, they map out 3 World War scenarios.
Mm.
The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agent tour of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leader of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Okay, so this is what you was talking about when you was talking about Netanyahu making the alliance with the Saudis. It's an illusion.
It's an illusion, okay.
And what it is called shifting the rooks on the chessboard.
Mm.
Right? You shift the rooks to confuse the people.
Mm.
All the time, y'all been working together the whole time, even when it looked like y'all was fighting. Now, the Zionists was the Moorish Zionist temple over here in the early 1900s that was infiltrated by Noble Drew Ali to tell us. This is a picture of the Moorish Zionist temple from New Jersey around the early 1900s. You see they melanated beings with woolly hair, but they're few in number, right? This picture was for Noble Drew Ali to say, draw the comparative analysis, for we are the many and they are the few. So when you look at the Moorish Science Temple, when Noble Drew Ali came to get the secrets out, right? You see that his congregation is huge compared to the little congregation you just seen.
Yes.
Because the message is put in the photographs. And the photographs is to tell the story to the posterity, the children to come. They didn't take photographs haphazardly because they didn't have instamatic cameras and cell phones back then. To take a photograph back then was called an event. You see that they are the many.
Hey, break that picture down too, Rod, for them. Where here dude got his hands, and then how they got their hands in the front for people that didn't heard this.
So the ones with their hands in the front is symbolizing the ones that's going to come in off the left bump, and they gonna hold their hands together like this while we struggle to get free. Noble Drew Ali say, don't worry about it, because you see he don't have a glove on his right hand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? Don't worry about it. I'm going to put the secret in the open. I have the master grip, the lion's grip. That's what that means. Now, if you look to the right of him, you see the first guy, his hands concealed. To the yeah, right there. His hands concealed.
Mm.
But if you look at the imprint where his arms are overlapping.
Mm. Yeah. Mm.
Right? So what that means is the right side, the father line, is flipping a secret to the left side, the mother line, and the secret is for the mother line to put it in her lap off the left bump, put it out in the open for them to see it. Let me see your hands. So she put them on her lap.
Mm.
Right? So all of their regalia is telling you their affiliations and the schools of thought that they incorporate into discovering the fraud.
Mm.
Right?
Hey, Rob,
Yep.
hey, let me just add this one part. She got her legs crossed. That's the X chromosome representing the mitochondrial DNA, the mother line. So
Mm-hmm.
add that part. Go ahead.
Yeah, she's flipping the secret back to the father's side on the stepchild flip.
Mm.
That's why her legs is crossed, but his is straight. He flipped the secret to the mother line off the father line, and she kicked it back, right, on the cross the legs flip.
Mm.
Right, the legs is the child and the stepchild.
Mm.
So she flipping the stepchild on the father line, the keys. That's out in the open. This is how you read the story.
Mm.
Right? And so all of them coming together and they telling me, where am I going to search for the knowledge? I see a fez, I see turbans, but I don't see no feathers. Right? So he's saying that the knowledge is kept from the feathers. And he's identifying in here several different key lodges that's involved in keeping the secret from us. He's identifying the ancient and mystic order, the ancient Arabic order of nobles of the mystic shrine. He's identifying the Moorish Zionist temple. He's also identifying the York and the Scottish Rite. We've been infiltrated in all of the houses. This is what the picture telling us. So now the secret out in the open that we've been infiltrated in all of the houses, this is where the infiltration comes in at. They look like us, but they're not us.
Yes.
Right?
Before you go to the other slide, can you address why their hand was on the outside instead of inside the coat, like we see Freemasons today?
Right. So when the hands are on the outside, that means that I'm letting you see, I'm exposing what they telling us to keep secret.
Okay.
When the gloves is on, they keeping the secret. When the gloves is off, the secret is revealed in the public. Now we just got to find it. It's a scavenger hunt.
Okay.
It's a cannonball run. And the cannonball came from Spanish ships called the Spanish Armada. What are these motherfuckers doing over here? Ask Cortez. He said they looking for the city of gold and they stole all our gold. And then they put it on reserve in Switzerland and was borrowing against our gold in order to float the Federal Reserve note. Once they take it off the gold standard, they slid it on the fiat debt standard, what's known as fractional reserve banking. So now they can keep us from ever accumulating any semblance of wealth by making us use credits and debits in the form of paper currency that's not backed by any substance. So if anybody stop paying off loans and taking new loans, that'll automatically destroy the Federal Reserve. It's already closed because Donald the Duck closed it.
He closed it.
Yeah, it's closed.
And then he put the duties of the Federal Reserve underneath the United States Treasury Department.
Right, because the United States Treasury Department was Big Mama's bank. I don't want to go over that, Elder. I want you to pull up the
I got you.
what was I about to have you pull up? Pull up the most bloody oath for the Pope. Now, remember in the George Washington challenges told them that they took oaths with each other. Right? This is the bloody oath. This is what the Catholic Church gave them the orders to shed the blood under the white man's burden.
Are you going to get into what that means, under the white man's burden?
Yeah.
Okay.
This ain't it right here.
Okay. This is the Jesuit oath, which is similar, right? This is the oath the Jesuits take for the Jesuit Society. I furthermore promise and declare that I will, when opportunity presents, make and wage relentless war, secretly or openly, against all heretics, Protestants, and liberals. And I am directed I can't see that word. Can you blow it up a little bit more? To extirpate and exterminate them from the face of the whole earth, and that I will spare neither age, sex, or condition, that I will hang, waste, boil, flay, strangle, and bury alive these infamous heretics. This is the order that they was using for the Salem witch trials, by the way. This is about those big mamas who was teaching the sinking to the earth to the slaves that they brought over here when they came. All right, so it's a rip up the stomachs and wombs of their women and crush their infants' heads against the wall in order to annihilate forever their execrable race. That when the same cannot be done openly, I will secretly use the poison cup, the strangling cord, the steel of the poignard, which is it's like a dagger, or the leaden bullet, regardless of the honor, rank, dignity, or authority of the person or persons, whatever may be their condition in life, either public or private, as I at any time may be directed to do so by an agent of the Pope or superior of the Brotherhood of the Holy Faith of the Society of Jesus. Now, the Pope issue was known as, it's hard to read on here, but it's the most violent, bloody oath for the papacy. Now, a lot of it might seem like, when you read the body of it, it might seem, because of the wording back then was drastically different, and the F sometimes looked like an S.
Okay.
Right. But when you zoom in to that marquee paragraph right there. All right. So this is the papal's most wicked and bloody oath of secrecy. And then right here in the headline, it says, for the murdering of kings, princes, and slaying of people. I can't even read it on here.
Yeah.
But this is the oath, and that the marquee statement is the application of the white man's burden, right? Did I send you that poem, young girl, to the white man's burden by Rudyard Kipling?
I think I got that too.
It's real short. If not, you can pull it up on YouTube. It's about a minute long, or about 2 or 3 minutes long. I don't think I sent it to you.
Yeah, you sent me that free white person thing, not that one. So you want me to put it up on YouTube?
Yeah, the white man's burden. So Rudyard Kipling was a poet, and he wrote this to explain what the white man's burden was in relation to the organic peoples of the land that they call the infidels and the peasants and the goyim. He was a good friend with Cecil Rhodes. And Cecil Rhodes, Rudyard Kipling, was good friends with Cecil Rhodes. Cecil Rhodes was given the army by, I think it was the Dutch, to settle the Congo, settle the African Congo. That was part of the scramble. See what them dudes in the barrel? That's it. So this is a poetic description of the white man's burden.
You want me to roll it?
Yeah.
The White Man's Burden by Rudyard Kipling. Take up the white man's burden. Send forth the best ye breed. Go bind your sons to exile, to serve your captives' need. To wait in heavy harness, on fluttered folk and wild. Your new caught sullen peoples, half devil and half child. Take up the white man's burden, in patience to abide, to veil the threat of terror, and to check the show of pride. By open speech and simple, 100 times made plain, to seek another's profit and work another's gain. Take up the white man's burden, the savage wars of peace, fill full the mouth of famine, and bid the sickness cease. And when your goal is nearest, the end for others sought, watch sloth and heathen folly, bring all your hopes to naught. Take up the white man's burden, no tawdry rule of kings, but toil of serf and sweeper, the tale of common things. The ports ye shall not enter, the roads ye shall not tread. Go make them with your living, and mark them with your dead.
Damn.
Take up the white man's burden, and reap his old reward. The blame of those ye better, the hate of those ye guard. The cry of hosts ye humour, slowly towards the light. Why brought ye us from bondage, our loved Egyptian night? Take up the white man's burden, ye dare not stoop to less, nor call too loud on freedom, to cloak your weariness. By all ye cry or whisper, by all ye leave or do, the silent, sullen peoples shall weigh your gods and you. Take up the white man's burden, have done with childish days, the lightly proffered laurel, the easy, ungrudged praise, comes now to search your manhood through all the thankless years, cold-edged with dear-bought wisdom, the judgment of your peers.
Okay, so in order to understand the white man's burden, you need to know who in the hell is a white man. Right? Because when they first came over here, they was melanated beings, but they called themselves Dutch, Portuguese, French, Englishmen, conquistadors, which were Spaniards, and they called themselves blackamoors. Right? So right here, zoom in a little bit more, Elder. This is Black's Law definition of a free white person or a white person in law, right? It's a free white persons referred to in Naturalization Act as amended by Act of July 14th, 1870, has meaning naturally given to it when first used in First State 103, Section 3, meaning all persons belonging to the European races, then commonly counted as white, and their descendants, including such descendants in other countries to which they have immigrated. It includes all European Jews out the gate, more or less intermixed with people of Celtic, Scandinavian, Teutonic, Iberian Latin, Greek, and Slavic descent. It includes Magyars, Lapps, and Finns, and the Basques and Albanians. It includes the mixed Latin, Celtic, Iberian, and Moorish inhabitants of Spain and Portugal. Those are conquistadors they talking about. When they say Moorish inhabitants of Spain and Portugal, this is your conquistadors, right? Hold on, I gotta find my spot.
Right here, the mix.
The mixed Greek, Latin, Phoenicians, and North African inhabitants of Sicily. For those who don't know, after the wars with Hannibal, they exiled all of a sizable portion of the melanated population to the island to try to stamp out the Etruscans, which is the Moors in Italy, right? It says, and the mixed Slav, which means slave, and Tartar inhabitants of South Russia. It does not mean Caucasian race. Caucasians are white people. It don't mean Aryan race. Aryans are Hindus, Vedics, or Indo-European races, right? Indo mean ancient Europeans. Neo mean new Indo-Europeans. Nor the mixed Indo-European, Dravidian, Semitic, Mongolian people who inhabited Persia. This is the ones that they passed off as the $5 Indian, right? A Syrian or Asiatic birth and descent will not be entitled as becoming a naturalized citizen of the United States as being a free white person. So now they told you exactly who they is. Now, if you know who they is in history, you know who they are today. It's a clear as day that it does not mean Caucasian race. It does not mean Aryan race or Indo-European races, nor the mixed Indo-European, Dravidian, Semitic, and Mongolian peoples who inhabited Persia, which is the Middle East. A Syrian and Asiatic birth and descent will not be entitled to become a naturalized citizen of the United States as being a free white person. Everybody else is by default subject to be classified as black. And black is a chess term, right? So type in on the Google, who moved first in chess?
The pawns. You can move the knight though.
The colors move, is moved by color.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, shit. The white always go for.
Unless you playing roster chess, you can turn that shit around.
Yeah,
Attack the attacker.
Yeah, right. Alchemy. Hey, also to add to on that slide you just went over, when you think about what he's talking about, think about the movie Avatar and how these Caucasians use people that look like the natives, but they wasn't the natives. They came
Right, they
looking
they
like this.
Avatar suits.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what the movie is about.
Pocahontas. It's the Pocahontas storyline. Go ahead, Rob.
Yep. So the what I tell you, look up again.
Yeah, damn, my bad. You said look up
Who moves first on the chessboard?
yeah. Okay, all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ooh. Glasses on, though. White man. Ah, shit. Oh, right.
Wow.
Read what it say.
Damn. They went hard on that. All international and public chess matches, the tournament, however, it is the rules for the first player to have the white man. Damn. Thus, there was a growing consent that white should move first. What?
Wow.
That's
Okay,
crazy.
now look, type in Moors and say Moors playing chess. This they game. They figured we would never learn how to play chess on their level. They got me fucked up.
My children are all chess champions. Go ahead.
See them?
Yeah.
Okay, next thing after we look at this, these Moors playing chess, I need you to pull up on YouTube Mash Speed Mama Bear. This they game. I don't see no pale faces, but I sure see the white man, right? Because they the ones that attack. They are the offenders.
Free white man.
That's why he's a free white person in law, because the law don't apply to him, because he's the one that's the wielder of law as the tool of oppression. Okay, now pull up Mash Speed Mama Bear on YouTube.
While you're doing that, Brother Hayes, I need to make a statement and have you to say something about it. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing talked about the chessboard and how the white pieces always move first, and therefore they're in offense, and the black people move second, which means that black people are in defense. But now I don't know if she was actually saying what I'm about to say, or we just assumed she was talking about Caucasians moving first on a chessboard, and the so-called black people, or us melanated people, are always in defensive mode.
You ever seen her husband?
I heard he was German. I heard that's where the name Welsing come from. I don't know if that's true or not.
Anyway, she know what was going on. The ISIS paper, Keys to the Colors, is the name of the paper.
Yes. Okay. Wow.
She's telling you that the chess game, the mover as the attacker on the chess, is spell Mashpee, M-A-S-H-P-E-E, Mama Bear.
Hey,
So
say it again.
M-A-S-H-P-E-E, and then Mama Bear.
So she was essentially telling us what was going on in codes.
Yep. All you had to do was know how to match the keys up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Decolonize your mind. Now in here, this is the elder Mama Bear speaking from 7 generations back, telling us the message that she got off the Mama Bear line. And the message was that the Black people, the ones that look like us, had to go in to be treated like the other people that look like us. The same. Both of us fucked up. But they was the ones behind the scenes controlling it the whole time. Let's rock.
The dirty Moors are the ones behind the scenes. Okay.
And that's loud as it goes. Let me see.
I'm the 7th grandmother back from Mother Bear. People that know about our culture know that that's an important connection because each generation is.
Try to close caption. The CC button right there.
We can come into any of our.
Oh, hold on, I got you.
As long as they honor us, and Mother Bear honors me.
It's
so
thing,
I'm
as loud as it goes.
willing to help her out at any time.
Can y'all hear it?
I can hear it now.
Okay, all right.
Hannah Sunkinson. I'm the 7th grandmother back from Mother Bear. People that know about our culture know that that's an important connection because each generation is to provide for the 7th generation ahead. And being spirits, we can come into any of our descendants as long as they honor us, and Mother Bear honors me, so I'm more than willing to help her out anytime. And it's not because she has a weak mind like some of her cousins will tell you. And a lot of your ancestors are willing to come in and help you if you invite them in, as long as you honor them. The last time I was here, I spoke to the people without color and informed them that it was time for them to assimilate. I want you to keep working on that.
One drop of blood.
But today I'm here to talk to my own people. I'm here to tell you it's time to decolonize your mind. You've taken up too many of the other people's ways and it's thrown you off track. First, let me tell you, every day is Thanksgiving Day. Starting with, I woke up this morning, thank you. The whole purpose of life is to be in a constant state of Thanksgiving. I know that a lot of our young people are confused and angry and discouraged. And we feel for you, we hurt by you. A lot of that has to do with the situation in the world today, but you're also being doubly taxed by the what they call intergenerational trauma. The trauma that happened to your ancestors is passed in the DNA, and you feel it too. A lot of you are turned into drugs and alcohol to try to block this out. It doesn't work. Did you know that Native people are born without an enzyme in their brain that processes alcohol? So we get drunk faster, we stay drunk longer, and it makes us really, really crazy. The Creator did not mean for us to have alcohol. When you get drunk, your spirit is off balance for 4 days. And the drugs, that's a government program to keep you enslaved. We're trying very hard to bring you back into the circle because when we lose so many of you, it really hurts. Some of you are crossing yourselves over, and it's the worst pain we can feel. We're going to love you back into the circle. and you'll be happier. And you'll understand that that was not the way to be. A lot of you are also so colonized that you're using the N-word a lot.
Just the part.
You realize that there was an agreement made between our people way before the people without color got here. The Black people agreed that they would sacrifice and do the slavery thing for us, or we would have been completely wiped out. We owe them such a debt. They'll be caught up in American racism. They don't want us to unite and be together because they're afraid of that we'll treat them the way they treated us. We're human beings. We could never be that thoughtless, and we don't have to worry about that because from the way things look, they're going to self-destruct. A lot of them are spinning out of control. We're not even going to have to do anything. We might have to put a few of them out of their misery, but for the most part, they're going to wipe themselves out because of their greed and selfishness. And that's another thing. If you have a lot of money and you're out here buying fancy cars and buying a lot of material things and your people are suffering and you're not helping them, you're always going to be poor in spirit. It's not the way. Material things can be taken away in an instant. And if that's what your whole life is about, then what is your life worth then? Another way I see a lot of our people colonized is this homophobia thing. Two-spirit people is what we call them. In America, they're called gay people, or as some of the legendary children like to be called, enchanted. But to us, two-spirit people were held in high esteem because they had the spirit of both men and women. Our philosophy is as long as you ain't hurt nobody, you just live your life.
Thanks.
And that goes for you heterosexuals too. I don't like to see our people confused and mixed up and not knowing which way to turn. But when you're confused, it's because your mind and your spirit knows that you're not doing the right thing. And you're never going to be happy like that. We've always been loving people, generous people. And that's the way the Creator meant us to be. I know a lot of our people are Christians. We've always been brought up to have respect for the Christians because that's how our particular tribe survived the colonial wars, because they had what they called the pray or die policy on us. That meant if you didn't become a Christian, you would get wiped out. Our tribe said, okay, we'll be Christians. We went to their church, but we still did traditional things in the woods where they couldn't see it. And over the years, some of us have come to question some of the Christian ways. And I just have a question for some of our Christian tribal members. If God knows everything and doesn't make any mistakes, there's a reason why God put the different colors of humans where he wanted them. And if he's going to send his son back to check on how things are going, what's going to happen when those people are not where they're supposed to be?
Uh-oh.
Just something to think about.
That's
So
good.
my key message today is
Oh, yeah, it's right on time, bro.
So this is a message from one of the elders in the community. Now notice she said that we made agreement to do the slavery thing. The slavery is a misnomer. It's a cover story to conceal the conjuring.
Prisoners of war.
Yeah. So go type in David Walker's appeal.
You said we, as in the indigenous or the organic people of the land, agreed to slavery?
I'm gonna explain to you in 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, Africans that were brought over here.
Okay.
No, it wasn't Africans. It was organic people already over here.
Yeah, prisoners of war. Hey, Rod, what you want me to read on this one?
Pull up the book cover. I want to show them what book to get for what I'm about to talk about.
Which one? Hey, which one you like, Rod?
The one you got is fine. Okay, so David Walker was one of the chiefs on the land, and he noticed an anomaly, right? And the anomaly was it was some people that looked like us that was in bondage on the land. He wanted to know who they was. So he wrote the David Walker's appeal. This was the first of the chiefs to launch an investigation into the different brown-skinned people over here that look like us, but wasn't us. That's what this is all about. This is the discourse of one of the chiefs. He put it in the public domain for the rest of the chiefs to get it. Now, Dr. Pruitt just asked, did we volunteer to go into slavery? We went into a conjure war. Slavery is the cover story of the conjure war. It was never true. It was the artificial history because remember in the George Washington Challenge, they were supposed to treat us harshly for 200 years and we don't even know what side of the water we originate from. The slave narrative was to try to convince us that we ain't from this land. And then the dirty Moors would say, see, I told y'all we the chiefs over here. So the challenge was fezzes versus feathers. I sent you a picture of E40. Can you pull it up?
Are you saying that the slavery narrative that we were taught is not what happened, is not true?
It's not true. It's a cover story.
I've been saying for the longest time that if we actually do our own history according to our family's lineage, most of us, if not all of us, will learn that chattel slavery, as we were told, did not happen.
That's absolutely correct. They took mama name, Big Mama House became the Big House.
Hey, I got one of their fezzes too, Rod. I gotta add to that collection. You know what I'm saying? Them clowns that know about the bounds. You know what I'm talking about?
You see E40, right?
Yeah, come ahead, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now notice his fez is to the right. Right? Where's his tassel? It's to the right, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's because he bumped the Moors for the fez. And the one that he bumped for the fez was high ranking. He was a king. That's why he's wearing the lion pelt. Gonna come into America is your reference.
When you say bump the Moors, what does that mean?
Okay, so the chiefs is paired up in a debate of knowledge, of culture, morals versus dogma. If he don't fall for the dogma and stand on his moral principle, he can't be deceived. If the Moor failed to convert him, then he bumped the Moor for the feds. If the Moor convert him, the Moor bump him for the feathers. Right? So the rule was for him to be exposed at a high level, he would have to do what's called peacekeeper duties in the community. So when you go to the Bay Area and you ask about 40 water, right? Utmost respect. He's passed off as a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
But he's actually a social advocate for gang peace by talking to the OGs from both sides to teach the YGs the proper interactions with each other to keep the COINTELPRO operation neutralized in the Bay. So without me ever talking to E40, we did flips the other day, and E40 came through on the flips in the Bay as the one maintaining the relationship between the clans. And then somebody sent me this as a receipt.
You're saying the Bay Area as in California?
Yeah.
The Bay, okay.
Yeah. So even though he's a musician, the musician is the cover story that allows him the luxury to enter into different communities and talk to different elders under the pretense of, I'm just an entertainer. Right? So then what did he do? He wrote something called this Pictionary of Language. That's so that the people that's not from the Bay in the area can get exposed to the lingo. Only he exaggerated. He exaggerate the lingo. So now the other chiefs around the land can use his book as a manual of how to talk to people when they get to the Bay without disrespecting their culture. So the reason why he came up, Elder, is because Raymond Washington got his wings. For those who don't know who Raymond Washington is, he's about to put a cover of the book up. There you go. All the way to the left, second from the bottom. Now it's third from the bottom, all the way to the left. Yep. This is the book, the only authorized biography on Raymond Washington, the co-founder of the Crips with Stan Tookie Williams. This tribe was rebuilt from scratch from them following something called Anunnaki, which is where you use your motherfucking fist to establish dominance with your peers, street fighters. So the work that Raymond Washington did in rebuilding, because the Crips is an old Skywalker clan, right? The Crooked Man is Big Tookie, who's presented to us as walking lightning. And Raymond Washington was the peacekeeper who bumped Tookie straight when they went to fight each other. But they didn't have to fight because he beat him in the conversation. You know, we the two most powerful forces over here. If we join forces, we'd be unbeatable. The side effect, which flips the C on its side and backwards, is the Pyrus is going to automatically form because the red house is the other side of the blue house. That's a fire clan. So the government gonna villainize them and create conditions and put plants in the community in order to infiltrate and turn us against each other. Man, if I was you, I'd shoot that nigga in the face. And this motherfucker ain't nowhere to be found when the court case go down. Right? So there was a FBI asset who worked for them to infiltrate Black organizations, and he got a video on YouTube, the video where he explained their tactics and strategies. You want to pull the video up, but we ain't gonna listen to it, Elder?
Oh, yeah, I got you. I know you're talking about. I had it loaded up on my page, but they tried to copyright me for it, so I took it down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, sometimes if you get a copyright infringement, they will demonetize your video.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you want to play too much of it.
No, it's not that one. It's the yeah, but I could cut it out if they do that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, dear.
but this dude told a lot on that tape. He infiltrated the black Huey P. Newton them, the Black Panthers. It's called Black FBI Agent Informant. I think it's Informant. That's what it's called. Yeah, right here. This dude right here.
You ain't got to play it. I just wanted to see what he looked like.
Okay.
Because I told you they look like us, but they ain't us.
Mm-hmm. Look at him.
If he was at any one of our parties, I would know something ain't right with him.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't tell he ain't one of us
Mm-hmm.
until he started telling you how he moved.
Mm-hmm.
His modus operandi does not fit with our paradigm of who we are as a people. And he already telling you who he worked for the FBI. The FBI know that those 3-letter groups was trying to extort all of the entertainers and murdering them. They call them Starwalkers. The charter for the FBI is owned by the same people that own the charter for the United States Inc.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they own the charter for the Central Intelligence Agency.
Mm-hmm.
Right? COINTELPRO is a joint effort between COINTELPRO and FBI to stop the rise of any one of us that they would classify as a messiah. Right? So then they went in to our communities and neutralized all potential leaders. The teachers told on them. The youth authority told on them. All the organizations they put in our community, welfare system told on them. Child protective services told on them. Right? So they've been infiltrating us the whole time, sabotaging any effort for freedom, like the murder of Emmett Till, aka Chief Littlehorn. They caught him whistling Dixie, which is the war cry to raise the soldiers in the South. It's a very specific whistle that the chief do that they know that it's time to go to war, right? If you pull up the trailer and mute it, you can see the black hands throwing Emmett Till on the truck.
Say, what's the name of it? Emmett Till?
Emmett Till movie trailer.
Okay, all right, hold up. I got you. All right, damn. Hold up.
This is Emmett Till, the one they accused of whistling at the pale skinned lady.
Oh, talk to me about that boy. They've come for you.
Here you go, right here. And they coming to get him. When they come get him, you're gonna see the melanated hands.
To describe what a mother. Lewis Hill has been found dead.
Can I at least just fix him up a bit?
No.
You passed it. I seen it when they went to go get him.
Tell me, maybe.
Yeah, it just changed to a thing right here with.
I want to talk to you about that boy. They've come for you. It's hard to Describe what a mother knows.
Yes, it don't show the part on this one right here on the with the hand sticking in there, bro. You want me to?
Yeah, it's probably another trailer.
Okay, all right, hold on, I got you. It's probably this the second trailer. Let's try this one.
Instead of your father's ring, how about you wear the cufflinks we got you home? Mama, I want to wear the ring.
Oh, that's the chief ring right there, right? Go ahead.
Yeah.
But they have a different set of rules.
Damn, they got some high shit up in this
Be
shit.
extra careful. Oh, be small. Like this?
Damn.
He's just going to see his cousins. It's not a bad thing for him to know where he come from. Even you left Mississippi, Mama. I don't want him seeing himself the way those people are seen down there. I want to talk to you about that boy. They've come for you. Hello?
The breaking news story, the body of Emmett Till has
No,
been...
they didn't show it in that one either.
Yeah. Hey, but that ring say little chief horn on it. It said little horn or something on the top of that ring. You saw that?
No, that's his father's initials, LT.
Man, that's crazy. Like that ring, it just stood out to me. Why would
Yeah,
she
that ring is it's the family heirloom that they passed down from chief to chief. I don't know if they buried him with it or not.
Okay.
I don't know if they stole it from him because a lot of times they steal those for trophies.
Yeah. Six circles, man.
Yeah.
Ears and nose and
right. So I used to have guys tell me, man, you think white people just sat down and wrote a book on how to oppress black people? And the answer is white people, yeah, they did. If you're talking about free white persons in law, it's called the Protocols of the Wise Men of Zion. It's the everything they doing now is in that book.
You told me yesterday.
Yeah, pull up the cover, Elder, so they can see what it look like. Yeah, so I was telling you about it yesterday, Sister Pruitt.
That the Zionists are actually the dirty Moors who landed on Mount Zion.
Right.
Okay.
I know I had it right here. Right. Oh, it's gotta be in here, man. Look. Hey, you sent me that one, Rod?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I gotta pull it up. Okay, all right. I got you.
I sent it to you, but you can pull it up though.
Okay, all right.
It's probably be fast. Zion. Protocols of Zion.
Oh, just of Zion, not of the learned elders of Zion.
Just put Zion, it'll come up.
Okay.
Protocols of Zion. There you go. First, second book.
Okay, I got you right there. Oh, this one right here, right?
Mm-mm.
Let me save it.
No, that's not it. It's the second book. That's it.
Right there, right?
Yeah.
All right, they blow it up for you.
One day I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna go through this book on one of the page by page, showing y'all what they doing and where it's written in that book. Okay, this is the protocols. The word protocol is the method of operation for doing something. This is a how-to manual, right? Now, the how-to manual is a partner with morals and dogma. These go together. One is the how-to manual, and one is the discourse that's like the minutes that support the document that shows you how they doing everything they doing. Put morals and dogma next to this.
It might be tripping on me on that the side. Oh, there you go, right there. Hold up. Morals and dogma. What I do is I had to slide that to that folder, then do it. Hold up, just a second. Sweets. Morals and dogma. Morals and dogma. All right, it's gonna be in this other folder right here. Hold on, just see. Make sure I got that. Zion. Hey, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're in the building. We twisted caps.
There you go.
All right, you see the Moors and
The
dogma?
red one with the 2-winged bird on it.
Okay, I got you. All right, let me get that other one joint loaded up right next to it. All right, it's gonna be the learn protocols of Zion. All right, there we go.
Okay, now these go together. Now remember those people we showed you was the Moorish Zionist Jews. This is their stuff. Albert Pike wrote the Morals and Dogma. And he's also Adam Weishaupt, and he's also George Washington. Right? The pen name is Albert Pike in the actual photograph. The protocols goes back to Adam Weishaupt of the Bavarian Illuminati. Right? And so with these two books, you see that bird right there, right? Now drop the protocols and pull up the statue of the Moor with the double-head eagle on his shield.
To the Moor with the double-headed eagle?
On his shield. There you go, right there.
Right there?
No. It's a statue.
Okay, it's a statue.
Right there. That's it.
Okay, right there.
Now, you see that's the same symbol.
Yeah.
Right? That's 32-degree Scottish Rite Freemason symbol.
Yeah.
Remember, Noble Drew Ali said they came in hostile off the left bump. In the picture we seen before. This is who he talking about. Now, drop Morals and Dogma and pull up the picture next to it. They show why they got kicked out of Europe, because they kept pictures of it. Right? So this is what they was doing. This is the grievance that's left in the art form in Europe to show why they got kicked out, because we need to know that to know why they want to stay here. So when we go look at the architecture, they wearing the same clothes, right? But when you zoom in on the guy that's eating the babies, his face looked like an ogre and he looked pale. Right? That's because the pale ones is called Khazarians. But they siblings on the bloodline. That's why Khazarians got nappy hair. Pull up a Khazarian on the web so they can see what they look like. Just type in Khazarian.
And what we saw in that picture is a grievance for what we're seeing right now. It's our grievance right now that's going on in our land, right?
It's the same grievance.
Okay.
So when we see they had the same grievance that we got now, right? That's Khoisan. That's not Khazarian.
Hey, oh yeah, hey, spell that for me real quick.
Khazar.
Oh, you said Khazars. Oh, the Khazars. Okay, all right. Okay, yeah, my bad. Yeah, Khazars. Okay, my bad. Okay. Hey, this
put photo behind it because I want a picture of what one of them actually looked like so you can see the texture of their hair.
Yeah, they got that They the Quaker looking dudes. Oh look. Look at the Quaker hat. Oatmeal Quaker niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. I could type in. Okay, hold up. There's like this. They're gonna pull it up like this show. Okay, that's what they look like right here on this picture right here.
Yeah, that first one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
These was when they came over, this group that we call Khazarians now was called Tawny Moors.
Mm.
Tawny Moors is a way of saying a bright skinned Moor.
Mm.
Mulattoes, Arabanos, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You look at them, you scroll down so you can see the ones at the top too.
Okay. I think it's that's it cut it off right there.
Okay, yeah. But
Yeah.
you can still see they features and whatnot.
Features. Mm-hmm.
Look, this right here, one in the middle got like a little Asian on them or something, Mongolian or something.
Well, they was in close proximity with Huns.
Okay.
But the Khazarians is the byproduct of Moorish priests and the temple priestess slaves, which came out looking like this.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get a birthright through Enlil. He never honored them. So the ones of the children in Enlil family that wanted to honor him put him in charge of the finance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They the ones who run the banking system.
Front man, skull and bones.
We ain't got to them yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now they operate in international commerce by a doctrine called Uniform Commercial Code. Pull the UCC, type in UCC Codex. Yep. Now, this is known as the Law of Nations. This is the most sacred book in the world of commerce. This book is more sacred in commerce than the Bible is in religion. All right. So now the Uniform Commercial Code is Babylonian money magic application on a world level.
Hey, you got cut out. Okay.
So when they say nationality is the order of the day, you have to be a citizen of a nation. Pull up the back of the nationality card, young elder. Now, when Noble Drew Ali first set up the Moorish Science Temple, you would not see this written on the back of the nationality card, what we about to show you. See where that yellow arrow at?
Yes.
I'm a citizen of U.S. corporation. God.
That article is in all caps, right?
Yeah, it's in all caps.
So that means civilly mortis in law. That means they coming from the position of black. They've been relegated back to a legal fiction. One of the clerks in the Moorish Science Temple went behind Noble Drew Ali back and done this. The Moors know who it was. They got his name on the documents because he was the only one that would have been able to do it because the clerk was the only one allowed to sign papers. So whoever was Noble Drew Ali clerk that made the agreement that put I am a citizen in the USA on the back of the document, they didn't realize they was taking you from being an independent sovereign under the Moorish Holy Temple of Science to a straw man again under the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Hey, Roy, could I ask you a question on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So Noble Drew Ali infiltrated them and came over here. Then why would he name his temple the Canaanite place? Well, I got a lot of ideas, but what's your perspective on why he called it the Canaanite? And then he brought Islam with it. You know what I'm saying?
That's mythology to try to associate to the contract in the Bible. That's not what he started. His charter is, I think it's 1913, Moorish Holy Temple of Science. The Canaanite temple was a whole nother governing body that was separate from Noble Drew Ali.
Yeah, so we got so the Dirty Moors, they infiltrated Noble Drew Ali lodge, didn't it?
How you think he got murdered?
Yeah, right. I read a story up on that he got arrested one day for some random stuff, and then they let him out of jail. Then he died a couple later. They poisoned him while he was in jail. I heard that's one story that I heard, that they
They
poisoned
beat
him
the
with
shit out
tuberculosis.
of him.
Yeah, they beat him and then they injected him with tuberculosis and then let him out.
They was trying to make him tell them the secret that he took out the temple. But what they don't understand is you can't never tell nobody the secret because they looking at it. They looking at the secret the whole time, beating him, talking about give us the secret, Tim. Right? And so when he got out, he was all jacked up. But the police wouldn't have never arrested him had he not been betrayed by somebody on the Mufti staff, because they was never supposed to get close to Noble Drew Ali. Let two police just walk up to Farrakhan right now and grab him.
That ain't gonna happen. I'll tell you this.
The Muftis, that's where that come from. The Muftis was the same way as the FOI until they found out they got infiltrated. When they realized they got infiltrated, they left the more same simple to infighting. But it was too many secrets to totally abandon it. That was in the open, telling you where to look for other stuff at. So what we know as the Circle 7 is really just it's a map telling us where to look for certain keys to the information. The only thing we needed was the unity key, because they came over to divide and conquer.
Oh yeah, bro. I got a class lined up for you on this called we're gonna do that class later one day this week or something. This is gonna be fire, the science of the number 7. Yeah, because I want to know why Noble Drew Ali was so adamant on using that symbol, the 7 with the circle. You know, I got this right here too.
He talking to the chief, and the chief that he talking to is going to be branded with the number 7. The 5% Nation got an artist named Rakim Allah, who tells you in the song "Born with 3 7s in my head." That's a lightning strike on the crooked man walking, right? So the Circle 7, see, it got 4 breaks in the circle. Those are called gates. Those are the 4 gates. North gate is at the bottom. South gate is at the top. East gate is to the right. West gate is to the left. All right, now, when you pull up the symbol of the 5% Nation, you're going to notice a similarity. When you pull this up, get a picture of Clarence 13 next to put next to it, because this is where we finna go with this. How you doing, Dr. Pruitt? You all right, sweetie?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Okay, you got any questions so far, or is this clear enough?
It's clear, but I do have a question. Thank you for yielding the floor. I wondered if these dirty Moors are even human when you see them ingesting children.
They Anunnaki.
Okay.
An Anunnaki, it's a reptilian hybrid. And they come here, we look like fried chicken to them. But they also know how to grow a human avatar that doesn't have a emotive faculty, what we would call a soul.
Okay.
And when they in deep space, they grow them in pods for the purposes of food.
Okay, thank you.
And plus, they're not just doing it to us, they're doing it on several other planets. They make clones to wherever planet they go to. Watch the Avatar movie, it give you a good understanding on the free white man and that look like us but ain't us. He was a white dude that looked like them, and he came to trade, sell them out for their land. The whole story right there.
Look how he infiltrated. He took on the avatar of the people of the land. That's why they look like us.
And then use the Caucasian Europeans, I should say, that came over here for what purpose? That he used them to
block institutions.
Okay, to run institutions. Okay.
Right. So we were supposed to never figure out that the real enemy looked like us, but they not us. And we were supposed to get so mad that all of the pale skinned people get murdered in a genocidal redemption program.
Wow.
But they was being misused the whole time as a cat's paw and a fall guy, which means a stunt dummy.
A lot of us are going to have to do some repenting. And what I mean by that is some confession and turning away from the racist ideologies that we have on all sides, because this racism has perpetuated hatred, which caused us to emit loosh so that those beings can eat. But we're going to have to reconcile with all this, buying into the racism paradigm and learn to unite, as somebody said earlier.
Yeah, that's a tool of conquest that they used. They didn't just use racism. They used sexism. They use social engineering and social conditioning. That is basically what they call it, chattel taming. Chattel humans are humans that's owned by other humans.
Okay.
Right. So when they call it the social programs, they call it herding the chattel. So the educational system is deliberately designed to miseducate our children and give us a false identity of the self. It seems like that they can't really do nothing if you don't, all they can do is just teach you a different paradigm, but you're going to still come to some kind of self-conscious. No, it don't work like that. When you suppress who you are, you embrace your ego self. Your ego self is responsible for all of your hatreds, your bitterness. It's the storage deposit for all of your traumas. That's why don't nobody want to do shadow work. Because when all of the stuff you accusing everybody else and you look within, there's nothing on this planet that ain't meant to be here except the invaders, and they being exposed. Coming to find out, it had never had anything to do with skin color, because the white man ain't even white.
That's right.
So the white man came over here with all of these titles: Englishman, Frenchman, Dutchman, Portuguese, Spaniard, and Conquistador, Blackamoor, Tawny Moor. It came with all of them different, they would still look like us. The problem with it was it wasn't us because they don't know love. All they know is sociopathy. Or as Bobby E. Wright would say, a psychopathic racial personality. Right? Now, the pale faces that was loyal to them blocked us out of the institutions of higher learning. We couldn't get in university to get higher education. They blocked us out of financial institutions. They hired bandits to rob family banks so that they can make us centralize the banking system. Yep. Jesse James and Frank James, Billy the Kid, all of them they wasn't pale skinned people. But their job was to rob our banks, the family banks. That's why they always showing them robbing a remote village, right? Leaving with the gold because we didn't believe in credit. Right? And then the townspeople always would have a big mama, and she was the banker of the town. They called her a mayor.
Wow.
The female beast of burden.
And that's where they get the word mayor. That's where they get that mayor from.
That's what it means. It's a matriarchal position.
Wow.
And you know, those guys were Knights of Templar and Freemasons too, working on the same line. Because if you go look up pictures of Jesse James, he's shooting all kind of Knights of Templar signs. And I was wondering. Now, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go what you saying.
I was gonna say the trains and things that they were robbing. Those trains were delivering our stuff, and their job was to not only White Herb and Bat Masterson, they were to kill off our buffaloes. They were killing the buffaloes and just leaving them the meat and carcass laying down and taking the skin, taking the buffalo skin and selling it. But they was under the disguise of that they were just skin herders or whatever. But they really was hired by these same dirty Moors that Rod talking about to take out our food source.
Okay, now type in if we kill the buffalo in the search engine. If we kill the buffalo, and then put quote behind it, and go to images. Ask people in the crowd in the audience as we boring them yet, Elder. Okay, the article would be under that first picture or the mountain of buffalo. This is only the heads.
Wow. Okay, family, I see we have 1,400 people in the chat, but only 186 that hit the like button. So please show a young elder some love and show some love for the podcast and for the information that we're bringing. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, Young Elders channel, share the video because we're dispelling myths and we're re-educating the people of the land and the people all over the world so that we can use this information and knowledge to move forward and create a dynamic, wonderful society. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. Thank you so much.
And we will be locking the sisters, Dr. Kia's page in the links and descriptions in the comments for all the people that's asking about that. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, I used to be watching Dr. Pruitt on her show, and she'd be dropping that intel. I'd be like, "Look at here! I thought I was just one of a few. Shit, there's a whole lot of us out here."
Yes.
Yeah, my wife be watching her, and like I said, I asked her about it today, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I know her. Like I watch her show." So yeah, I went subscribe to your page today. So
thank you.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Yeah, what you got right here, Rod?
Go to the picture.
Oh, that
That's not
picture,
the
man, that's
that's not
crazy,
the
bro.
quote. One of those Europeans said, if you kill off the buffalo, you kill off the native.
Wow.
It's crazy, bro. I ain't never seen this picture, but this is add to the.
This is only the heads. Now this is a couple million buffalo right here. Remember, I told you this is the first mass bloodletting ritual, Babylonian money magic to subjugate the women.
What?
This right here is crazy. Hey, bro, this is a good one right here. This is a good picture.
What are the implications? Because I don't understand the connection between cutting off the head of the buffalo and subjugating the women. What's the connection?
The slaughter, the mass bloodletting ritual. Okay. It's Babylonian blood magic.
Mm.
It releases a mass amount of fear pheromone in the air.
Got it.
And if you go and read any other where somebody's supposed accounts of people encountering angels, they say they started to get fear, and the angel tell them don't fear.
Yes.
Because they can't stay where fear is. The women is just angels in human bodies, but they don't know it yet.
Mm.
So
wow.
the buffalo was traded out with modern day beef, bovines, as a food stock. What's the significance? Bison meat does not have something called polysaturated fat. It has something called polyunsaturated fat. The saturated fat turns into a white paste in the brain. It looks like lard.
Mm-hmm.
But the unsaturated fat in the brain looks like mineral oil. It's clear.
Wow.
So they clog the brain up so that the elders can't remember anything, because the plaque in the brain is interrupting the communication between the synapses.
Mm. Mm.
Hey, also to add, they surrounded, we had places where we were taking the buffalo meat. We didn't have refrigerators as natives. So what we would do is we would chop our meat up and we'll either put it in the smokehouse, or we'll take it and we'll hide it behind a waterfall. And the waterfall was like these all these waterfalls all around the United States. They were our places, like our refrigerators, really. And we would hide it behind the water, carve a place out behind the waterfall and hide the buffalo meat in there. So what they did is they knew that we would do that. So they sent their military in to round those areas. So we couldn't get to our buffalo meat where we had it at. And plus they was doing this, wiping all the buffaloes out, like Raw Hayes said. So it was it's a lot. It's like I tell Raw, man, it's stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff that they was doing. Like it was this was a lot. It's a lot of stuff to dig through to find out all the stuff that they was doing as part of this conjure war. It's deep, man. It's deep.
What do you all call it? Conjure war?
Yeah.
CONJURE.
Yeah. That's why they
Conjure
told us. That's why they used to teach us, Dr. Pruitt, to fear voodoo. Because if voodoo is our natural religion, it's a spiritual practice to develop the character of the individual. But the side effects is we turn into antibodies for Earth. We figure out how to clean up anybody mess that's on the planet. So that's why they wanted us to stay away from the voodoo. But then they use all of the practices of the voodoo against us.
Yeah.
Right? So they use primarily 3 doctrines of conjure. But they use any conjure that'll work for the purpose that's outside of those 3. And those 3 being Babylonian money magic, Babylonian sex magic, and Babylonian blood magic.
Wow.
I got another question for you, Rod. Okay, so like the Bible connection. I know people we get out of the Bible, but like in the Bible, it says, curse be Canaan, a servant shall he be to his brothers. So the Canaanites, these so-called people that's the front man, they doctrine tell you that these people were gonna be servants for the real people, for these real, they were gonna be front man for these people, these in-laws children, pretty much. It tells
Right.
you
So
their doctrine.
a lot of the brothers that was real militant used to see me walk in the yard with the heads of the bikers or the head of the KKK or the skinhead, but they own our land. I need to know their doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
Because once I know their doctrine, I know why they on our land. I know what they doing here. So the white supremacist doctrine is predicated up on the Phineas priesthood, right? And they came over because somebody invited them on Ellis Island because we couldn't get in no institutions. So rather than let a handful of pale faces block us out of institutions, we told the Europeans, send us all of your derelicts, your rejects, your dissidents. So what they do? They empty their prisons and they brothels out.
Hey, 17.
They sent those with differing views of religious doctrine. They sent them all the ones they couldn't tolerate over there. They sent them over here. If you go in and type up the Salem witch hunts, you'll see on YouTube, there's a video. It showed the old Big Mama teaching the little European girls earth science. This is what the Salem witch hunt was all about. So you gotta remember, it started in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, over here.
Yeah.
And whose territory is that? That's the Gullah Geechee. That's one of the most powerful conjure clans on the land. You ever heard of something called Geechee magic?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's what they talking about. That's our shit. But it's just the Gullah tribe. I'm a Mississippian. My tribe is different in origin on the land, but it's still from the land. Right? So I can read what the other chiefs is telling me. They sending the smoke signals up. I'm translating them for the public. We call it wind talking. Right? That's how E40 came up. Me and Elder was knocking around up North Michigan, end up in the bay off of a bridge flip.
Yeah, that was at that last check. Mesh was flipping on the land with Raw Hayes. And when you told me that E40 thing, that was fire. And then also to add to what he just said about the these people being brought over here, King George I, which they were dark-skinned beings. Great Britain was ran by dark-skinned Moors all the way up until 1837, until they got usurped by the same dark-skinned Moors, Raw talking about that looked like them but wasn't them, by Queen Victoria. But in 1750, they was taking them to Australia and to other parts of the world. These criminals, they were convicts, right? And then in 1715, they started flushing them over here to America, and that's when they started doing the colonies and all that. And then by 1774 is when they start the uprise, or 1773, and they started the American Revolution to fight against these dirty Moors, the fight against the break off from these Moors, because the Moors were the British. The red coats were these Moors. You know what I'm saying? So most of the Caucasians that were brought over here in 1750.
Type it in, man. Type in Moors meet Americans, man.
Okay.
Just type it in.
Okay, I got you.
So she can see the image of what you talk about for herself.
Okay. We'll say that again, Moors. Moors meet America.
So Moors meet America. So Brother Hayes and Young Elder, you're saying that the organic people of the land, we're the ones who said send us your derelicts? And all,
yeah.
why? What was the purpose?
We couldn't get in any institutions to find out why we was being oppressed.
So we sent them into the institution.
And they got the information out.
Mhm.
They're not showing it here. Type in conquistador beats native.
Now, why did they allow them in the institutions?
To keep us out. They was using them as the front, the facade.
Oh, I got it. So they were using them. Okay.
That's what the blackface was. The blackface was the pale skin saying some niggas behind us.
Oh, and we took it as an insult. They taught us that we should think that's racism and we should be angry.
Yep.
And really, they were telling us it's the blackamoors that are behind this whole program.
Yep.
Everything you've been taught literally is in reverse. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Hey, you got Horace Greeley as part of it, the thing for the New York Tribune and the Smithsonian Institute. These guys, they twisted us, man. They twisted us good. They twisted us good. Like, so the Pilgrim, Pocahontas story, John Smith and John Rolfe, they were dog-skinned, Etruscan Moors. They wasn't white dudes like they tell you. We wasn't mixing with white folks over here. I mean, the so-called white free, these people. We weren't mixing with Caucasians like that.
They had their own tribe in the Appalachian Mountains, the tribe of Scotland. They was the first refugees from Scotland. So when Scotland and Scotia came over, they split. Scotia went north into Canada, set up her colony was Nova Scotia. Scottish children became the children of Montbretier in the Verdun, and they settled in the Appalachian Mountains. Those red-haired, freckle-faced Hicks, we call them.
Out of Barons. And two, like the Pocahontas story, you think that she left on that boat to go back to Graceland, England with a bunch of white boys? You guys to be crazy. We wasn't that crazy over here.
She was a hostage, no matter how you look at it.
She was a hostage. That's right.
She was, but why the $1 million question nobody don't know is why they took her back to Europe.
Are we talking about Pocahontas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Monteoka is what Monteoka is what they call it. Like, that's what the name we call it, Monteoka. Pocahontas is the name they gave her, yeah.
Okay.
She was a princess. She was a princess she was a Parliament princess of the Iroquois Confederation. That means that it was several different tribes that came together and they had their own chiefs. And then her father was the chief over all of them. And so he was the leader of he was like the head chief under like the Big Mama energy under this Iroquois Federation. So one story that I did read up on it is that the king these dirty Moors wanted to bring her dad over there so they could kill him, and he wouldn't come because he didn't trust them. So one of Pocahontas went over there, but then when she got over there, they put a baby in her. They put these dirty Moors had a baby with her named
George Washington chopped down the cherry tree.
Yeah, and then they brought that. When what happened is Thomas Rolfe was the kid, right? That was born to John Rolfe and Monteoka. And so being that the dirty Moors, because it's called tying into the vine, being that these dirty Moors got mixed in with us right there, and Pocahontas was the princess of the Iroquois Federation. When they brought that kid back, by right, that kid was like one of the heirs to the throne. So they was able to, anybody kin to Thomas Rolfe now can come in and settle into our land. Jamestown and all that, they could come in and start settling in our land, but they
call that
in us.
That's called an exercise of the mother right. Wow. Mother right is the bloodline right of inheritance on the motherland. But why did they take her to Europe?
Yeah, it's a good question. They said they wanted to talk with, they really, I don't know. I think they was up to get over there to get the baby in her. You know what I'm saying? Then kill her. And then she ain't go by herself. She left with a military man. She was like, there's about 12 or 15 people with her. Like,
who in Europe did they taking her to?
They said they were taking her to the king, is what I read up on, but I don't,
Okay, now let me give you a little clue. She had to go through what's called confirmation. Why they sent her back?
What you mean send her back?
She came back over here.
Hey man, they said that they threw her overboard. The story said they threw her overboard.
That's the story of Scotta.
Okay.
But they was chasing Scotta in what's on the Abbey, which is like a elevated cliff to the mountain.
Okay.
And they was trying to kill her, and she fell off the Abbey. They thought she was dead.
Oh.
Her sister Scotia jumped in behind her to save her sister, and a group of what we know as Norsemen on the seas, we call them Vikings now. Scotta gave them the right to be kings on the high seas. That's what L. Ron Hubbard used to protect the pale skins in Hollywood from the dirty Moors. He used the Viking charter. All he has to do in order to exercise it is prove that or know his bloodline is from the Vikings, and then live on the ship. And he's not subject to the jurisdiction of the de facto corporation because he's operating outside of their jurisdiction. And all of his communities have to be fenced in because they embassies. And that's how they was able to do the same work as the Nation of Islam was protecting ours. They was able to protect the ones that look like them. Because they was still subject to the same Starwalkers. Right? So when you pull in a file, you see the same three-letter organization calling them with death threats and extortion plots. That doesn't change no matter what the person that's the entertainer look like. They still being extorted by the same three-letter organization. And the ones who died strange deaths all unanimously had the same three-letter organization in. So if the FBI is aware of this three-letter organization, they ain't never arrested nobody for none of the dirt that they recording that they doing. That mean they the watchers. The watchers watch, but they don't get involved. When do they get involved? When the plot is about to be exposed. Murder that nigga. Pay them niggas next to him to set him up. Jesse?
Messages. Oh,
now that song got a whole new meaning. Run, Jesse, run, now, don't it?
So did
it
you
all
adjust?
came out? It all came out in the Martin Luther King lawsuit.
That's right.
There ain't no secret no more.
They got Jesse said that I got the file on my hard drive. They said that in the one part, Martin Luther King he cursed Jesse out or something. He said something to Jesse that hurt his feelings. And then Jesse came back to the feds. Man, we gotta go and kill this nigga. He belittling me. Jesse, after he really pushed up they didn't want to kill Martin Luther King right then. Jesse, he said, you got to do something about it now. We got to kill him. And I'll tell you, I'm gonna put a whole script out of what Jesse did, him and that other dude. And they all wore ties that day. And then they told, they said that no ties. And then they made Martin wear a tie so they can identify who was with Martin and who wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? It was a whole bunch of stuff behind that. But that civil
it all came out in the lawsuit.
Yeah, it did. That's what I said. They want $300 million. $300 million.
The same way the JFK plot came out. CIA murdered JFK. It ain't no secret no more. George Herbert Walker Bush was the overseer of the assassination on behalf of Lyndon Baines Johnson.
You know, everybody.
Why did we got a Civil Rights Act going on in the 50s and 60s when they already had a Civil Rights Act from the 1800s? And a whole civil rights movement in the 1800s. Somebody lying.
Yeah, they playing games.
Speaking of JFK's assassination, that really does lead us to the war that's going on against the Dirty Moors right now, right? Because his son wanted vengeance. JFK Jr. wanted vengeance, right? Is that correct? For what they did to his father.
And not only him, so he got a cousin, they called him Little Bobby, and he used to hang out with the guy they called DJ. And they used to popular the night scene in the 80s in New York. And DJ was a staunch supporter of Ronald Wilson Reagan. You got to go back and listen to his speeches as the governor of California versus what he did after George Bush came in and switched up his program. Now, George Bush came in off the 32-degree Scottish Rite as a Skull and Bones member. Pull up their logo. This good.
Yeah. Also, while you on this, I want you to get into why did George Bush sign that thing in 1992 to help us out, man? He must have got mad at these dirty guys he's working for. You know what I'm saying?
And this cat called DJ that was friends with JFK Jr. I can assume you're talking about number 45.
Yep.
Okay, DJT. Okay.
Okay, now this is you see the symbol for Skull and Bones, 32 degrees or 3. What is it? 322.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me blow it up for you. Oh, there you go, right there.
322 mean raised off the fatherland. Now the 3 mean two-ball cane. Two-ball cane is a penis and testicles. 22 mean to raise, right? Now the irony is pull up a pirate flag, put it next to it. This takes us to the Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, a lot of people don't know for a long time at Skull and Bones, they had Geronimo's bones.
Geronimo was fighting against them. Man, they had Geronimo bones. It make a lot of sense, bro. You just, man, you hit me, bro. Hey.
Geronimo came back as G Jagger, Geronimo Pratt.
Yeah. And they came out to him too, the same niggas. They set him up for a murder, didn't it, Rod?
Yeah.
Man, this is crazy.
That was a COINTELPRO operation.
Hey, you know, I heard what you just said about the Geronimo bones, but it ain't hit me then. But now when you just said it, now it hit me. What the hell's going on that part?
Now remember, in Jekyll Island is on our elders' bones because they draw power from them using the Babylonian death magic. Death magic is a whole nother thing called necromancy.
Yes.
Ain't it ironic that they use the same symbol?
Same dang on symbol, bro.
Wow.
The pirates was conquistadors. Type in conquistador on images.
I just pulled something up for you right here in the same folder. Hold up.
Pull them up.
I just typed it in. I say
we still got to go back to Clarence 13 next.
Yeah. Hold on, it's right here. Hold up, it's in the same folder. I just said it. The conquistadors. All right. Nah, man, that's insane. I can just go back. It's right here. Right here. Just put, I'm gonna just type in this. I know how to find it. This it right here. All right, this is what they look like right here. Which one you want me to say?
That
Okay,
book
right.
cover and that second picture.
I got you.
Mm.
Yeah, it's what they look like. John Smith and John Rolfe look just like this dude right here. The dude they got Pocahontas. They wasn't no Caucasians.
Mm.
We didn't let them, man. It's some places in the world where they kill these people when they see them. They kill them on sight. Yeah, I'm telling you. Right now, they can't even go over to some places in South America.
Hey, you see that banner say Black Conquistadors, Conquest of America?
Hold on, let me go back. Which one?
Third row, second picture. Black Conquistadors.
Yeah, right here, right here. I got you.
Mm.
These was the pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Oh, that's what it was. So look. Let me just load it up. All right, there we go. Oh, look. I'm gonna put them side by side for you. And they helped Christopher Columbus. This is the dude they helped Christopher Columbus sell over here. They would have never even made it over here. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna blow that other. We want me to put that other one up there too, Rod? This one. That's good. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So it ain't never been a secret, but to nobody but us, that they look like us, but they ain't us. Because every time I start having a conversation with one of them university professors about racism, they say that it was your own people that did it to you, and I didn't even know what the fuck they was talking about. Wow. I thought they was just trying to shake the responsibility. But all the time they look like us, but they not us.
Wow.
Hey, Roy, you know something? I swear on my life, man, when I was going on my research journey, probably like about 2010, it was this white dude I worked at Walmart. It was this white dude that I used to talk to all the time. And then that's by the time I started getting into more science and I started calling myself Mustafa El Bey, right? And so I used to talk to him. And I told him, he said, why are you naming yourself after people who robbed y'all? And I never put it together in my head what he was telling me until I met Roy Hayes. Like a little bit before that, I used to say dirty Moors. I always know about them. I call them morons. That's what I call them, morons. But I never could finger them all the way. But now that I met Roy, what that white boy told me, now I thought he was trying to play me or something, like trying to throw me off. Yeah. Like, what this nigga doing? You know,
they've been telling us the whole time.
The whole time. I'm telling you.
You ever read the Book of Mormon?
Go ahead. I read some of it. I know what
in the Book of Mormon, the children of Enlil are called the children of Zephany. And according to the Book of Mormon, they was cursed and they got black skin.
Yes.
That go back to Bobby Hemmett and the counterfeit spirits. Now, here go the irony, Dr. Pruitt. 80% of the Moors that I've studied have been us wearing fezzes, putting the real information back out.
Okay.
Right? So we call them righteous Moors.
Okay.
So in that category, let's see Freeman Hill. He the one was telling us the metaphysics and exposing the conjure by teaching us metaphysics.
Okay.
Hakeem Bey was showing us the tribes inside the Moors by identifying his native heritage. Right? And then you had Taj Tariq Bey, who been teaching us civics. If you don't understand civics, you're going to keep using a system to try to get free which is going to verify the unum sanctums of you being an imbecile, unable to administer your own affairs. Therefore, the Pope got to do it for you. Now, as soon as somebody come out and pull a card, the Pope gonna call all the money home. Oh, he already did.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Time to
did.
cash out, church.
So did.
Now, that's in the sum of at least $1 trillion. That's at least $1 trillion. He called all the money back, it's back, but why are we not seeing no residual effects of $1 trillion hole in the global economy? Somebody lying somewhere.
Right.
Right? Because if you take $1 trillion out of the global economy, it's going to cause either currency to increase in value and purchase power or drop the bottom out. Neither one of those took place yet.
No.
So I believe really the bottom fell out, but we don't know it yet. They haven't told the average everyday Joe that the bottom fell out of the International Bank, because I know that the World Bank and International Monetary Fund has been seized by something called the Earth Alliance. All of the private shareholders, if they wanted their holdings, when Donald Trump flew the flag with no star, they had to come get your shit to badass. And they didn't come get their shit. They still trying to hide. Right? They stronghold right now, they is still Switzerland, but the Swiss has stepped aside to allow the Earth Alliance to go and eradicate Switzerland and the motherfuckers. And that's why Switzerland don't got nothing to do with no wars. They finance both sides.
Wow. Wow.
Taking.
Wow.
Hey, we had a 2-hour mark. Well, we passed the 2-hour mark. I mean, y'all can keep going. I mean, I ain't tired of nothing, but
we could take some questions. And
okay.
you got anything you want to add so far, Dr. Pruitt?
I just want to ask you, yes, can we see, do we know what the conclusion of the matter is going to be? Like, are there any prophecies? Do we, spiritual revelations?
Okay, so July the 4th, 2019, the contract ended.
Okay.
One of the chiefs on the land had to exercise the right of the organic people to recover the land and to take charge of purifying the water and the air. So on January the 6th, I issued a public notice to all parties to close all contracts for non-performance. Now, if they didn't want to close the contracts for non-performance, they had to show us one treaty that they did not violate. Well, they never made the treaties with us to begin with, so the foundation of the treaty was the fraud. So that cancels out the treaty by the order of the chief. All of the treaties are now null and void. So now the only thing left is to go on a grassroots campaign and tell our people, we got our shit back. This who it was. This what they did. This how they done it. And this is how we came from up under it. That's what, see, the Indigenous Rights Act gives you the parameters by which to reclaim the organic rights, to exercise tribal rights, right? Because it keeps saying in there, tribal land this, tribal land that. It's all tribal land.
Okay.
Now, the reason why we today know that the treaties weren't from our elders, because they were signing over the land. In our culture, you can't sell land. You can allow somebody permission to maintain the land in the capacity of like a farm.
Okay.
Or they can charter a village.
Is that the same thing as a shareholder, Rod?
No.
Okay.
No. Shareholders is people that hold stock in a particular corporation.
Not shareholders, sharecroppers. Sharecroppers. That's what I meant to say.
Sharecroppers was how they used sharecropping to steal the land from the people in the South after the Confederacy was broke up. The Confederacy was never a slave keeping force, but a Gullah Geechee liberating force that they told us was the people in the South that held the slaves.
Wow.
And all the
Wow.
time they were Gullah Geechees trying to institute tribal law on the land, and they lost.
Mm.
They lost the physical conflict, which made us go into a conjure war.
So we don't have to wait. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What you saying?
So we don't have to wait until this war that's been waged against these dirty Moors. We don't have to wait for some big announcement from DJT, Donald Trump, or the military, or the Grand Army of the Republic.
Right. So when the conclusion of the continuity of government, when all of the business is done in Raven Rock, Colorado, then the chiefs have to give us a report. They're going to tell you everything I'm saying.
Okay.
They're going to tell you who did it, what they was doing, why they was doing it, what we was doing to stop it. They're going to give a full report. They might read names off for an hour or two of dirty motherfuckers over the years that they thought they got away.
Got it. Okay.
Like the guy that sold out Noble Drew Ali, the clerk. Whoever he was, it don't matter, because the Moors know who he was.
The righteous Moors.
Right. Because all of the dirty Moors then be reported over time to the grand governing body. So all of these dirty grand sheiks fleecing the flock is going to be dealt with by the muftis when Chief Malik Angel Bey, that we know as Jeff Ford, give his order to clean the house.
Okay.
They think we just joking and we don't really know what we're talking about. This is the crazy part. Only reason why y'all see me is because the dirty Moors couldn't seize the throne. They forgot what the fuck they did. So now the ones of them that know the conjure had to do the same thing that we got to do and call me to come fix it. And nobody, they didn't ever think I was going to be the one fix it. Out of all of them 8.4 billion, it won't be this nigga.
Hey, you definitely made it clear on who these cats are, who the real ops, the young people call them ops, the real people that's against us.
Yes. Yes. I don't have any more questions. Thank you so much for answering my question.
You're welcome. We got anything in the chat?
I'm looking at it now. Hey, drop your chats in the comments. If you got any chats for the sister or the brother, drop them in the comments. We live, we lit, 1,600 people. This is fire. Somebody
it might even be more than that, Elder.
You know, I can't tell until 20 minutes after we get off the show. It'll give a report on how many. It's probably was like 5 or 6,000 on here. Yeah, I'll know after the show though, for sure. It's a question: what should the women do? What should the women do, Rod?
Form women's circles, sisters healing groups, and get out of that psychological trap that they told you don't fuck with no women. Because our women heal together when they in the room together. That's being in each other's presence is healing to them. But the dirty Moors, women can't stand women. That's how they, and then they don't believe in yoni care. So you can smell them before they come.
Interesting.
Hey, somebody asked Rod, what's up with Southeast Indians?
When you say Southeast Indians, what are they talking about? They're talking about the people of India?
Hmm.
They've been infiltrated just like us.
Hmm. I know from a socioeconomic standpoint, I don't know if you all know this, but I looked at a diagram of who's doing the best financially here in America. In terms of, and when you look at the median incomes, the Indian Americans are at the top. And I'm talking about Eastern Indians at the top. Number one, they're making the most money in North America. And the so-called and Black folks, or us, the organic people, we at the very last, bringing in only $35,000 per year. What, that's the median income. So
And the
I just
irony of that is we spend more money than the third world nation.
take a
Uh-oh.
yeah,
They glitching us, Elder.
Yep.
I see.
Hey, somebody said,
Sure.
can you hear me? Oh yeah, they glitching us good. Can you hear me, Rod?
I can hear you.
Hey, they said, why did Pocahontas go to Europe? Could you answer that one?
No, they wasn't listening when I answered. She went over there to be confirmed because they thought they had captured one of the red-haired princesses. You got one that was melanated and one that was milky colored. Scotta, pull up my mom Brigitte on there so they could see what she looked like.
Hey, spell that for me.
MOMONBRIGGET. 2 words.
Mm.
It's her right here.
That's not her.
Third picture?
Type voodoo behind it. That ain't her.
Okay, I got you. Oh, yeah, hold up.
Mm.
Oh, this her right here, bro? The second picture?
No.
Okay.
Something not spelled right.
Spell that first part of the name, MOMMAN.
No, MAMON.
Okay, yeah, that's her. That's right.
Mm.
They giving this picture right here.
Look, all the way to the right, this got her name on it.
Oh.
Right here, this one.
No, you see right there, got her name right there. That's it right there. Yep, that's her too.
Yeah.
That's her, and then you got a picture of her right there with her name.
I see it right here. The white one or the dark one?
I don't know what you're looking at. I can't tell.
Like the third one, like you got the first one right here, then you got the third one right here. This is like a
no, it's in the third row. She got on the top hat and the face paint. Go to the right there.
Mm. Mm.
She is the only pale skin Orisha in the lower in the Orisha.
Mm.
That's fire.
This who they thought they had captured when they caught Pocahontas and Satch. Because they had red hair. And the signature of my mom Brigitte is her red hair.
That's fire. Hey, so she was a voodoo queen too?
Mm-hmm. Her magic was the magic that they fought against that got them kicked out of Europe.
Okay.
And it was her clans using conjure. That's what the wars of St. Patrick was about when he invaded Ireland and Scotland and killed the priests. Those was the ones they was killing, her priests.
Mm.
This is the baby daughters, they twins of out of 12 sisters of Isis. Or 12 daughters of Isis, my bad.
And this where the Eastern Star and all that, like it stems down, coming down from that same shit.
All they years is different denominations of the priestesses.
Mm.
You got daughters of Isis, sisters of Isis. You got the sisters of Sekhmet, the sisters of Bastet. You have the Psi priestesses. All those are denominations, and they all got different functions.
Mm.
Hey, I'm waiting on some more questions. Hey, y'all got any questions? Drop them in the chat.
Pull up the other picture with her name on it, Elder. Drop this one.
I got you.
Family, make sure you hit the like button, please. Subscribe to the channel and share the video so that our family all over the planet can get this good information.
Oh yeah, this is fire. This is a fire one. Another one, Rod. Another one. Like DJ Khaled say, another one.
And another one.
So the next one we're gonna do, young elder, we're gonna show you all of the pale faces, and I'm gonna tell you what they did to put the secrets in the public.
Yeah, I need that. That's fire.
Mm. That is.
Hey, so George W. Bush, man, I got a video of this cat that he passed at his funeral. He waited till his funeral to pass out letters to all the dark, deep state people.
That was indictments.
Yeah, he said they know. In the letter, it said they know. They know.
He said they know everything.
Yeah.
We know everything. Yep.
When you're dealing with God beings, we gonna know everything. You ain't gonna get away.
Mm.
But we just gotta get back to our God self.
Look on their face when they got them little invitations or whatever that was. He passed them out right at their funeral, man. That's a cold way to go out, ain't it? Hey, man.
The funeral, it wasn't even nobody in the coffin.
Well, go ahead on there, Rod.
That was the decoy funeral in order to get all of the dirty players in one building at one time.
To serve them notice.
Yep. They always got to be served notice in the public domain. What better way to do it than at the funeral of the greatest traitor in the history of the world? Make Benedict Arnold seem like a holy saint.
Hmm.
Yeah, the looks on their face, all of them, man. Everybody was there. The look on their face was like, and Trump left out of there. Like, so it was, then right after that, they started getting attacked. They started going down. All of them started getting in the media right after that funeral. Hillary Clinton got exposed. They still ain't mentioned it. Wait, what about Anthony Weiner's laptop, bro?
When that come out, that's gonna come out off of the John Benet Ramsey investigation opening back up. Because John Podesta was and Ghislaine Maxwell was there at the house the night that the girl got murdered.
Wow.
They actually in pictures, but we ain't know who them people was back then, so we didn't know what we was looking at. They in pictures at the house the night of.
Dang.
And Patsy Ramsey, she came out of child sex trafficking.
The mother? Yep.
And they threatened that if she tell anything, they was gonna make her kids suffer worse than her John Benet ever did.
You always got the feeling that she was traumatized and that she didn't like whatever was going on. It seemed like her husband was involved, but she wasn't.
Oh shit! That he probably gonna have a nervous breakdown if he's still living, cause he didn't know what they was into. On the mother's side, he didn't know that Patsy Ramsey was a child sex trafficker product. So when these people started coming over there and doing favors for him, he was accepting the favors, never knowing that the bill always comes due.
Yes.
Yeah. You want to take us on home, Elder?
It's a wrap, man. Look, this was right here was like, you know, this was a historical event right here, man. This is going down history.
Absolutely.
So like I said, everybody share it, like it, subscribe, hit the bell. If you don't receive a notification from us every day, come back and check. If you want to check out that George W. Bush fingers everybody at his funeral, go back and check out the tape I put out called America Hiding in the Bushes, right? Where I break all the connection down with Obama being in Indonesia and how Sorrento really was the CIA front man for the Doogie. We got to say Doogie, right? Overcoming from Indonesia through George W. Bush. George W. Bush is the biggest dope dealer ever come through, man. He had Clinton, everybody working in Arkansas. Go back and watch. They put a movie out about it with Tom Cruise and all that. You know, about how the Clintons would knocking people off. They were gonna talk on them moving that. Oh yeah, before we got here, that's the last question I want to ask you, Roy. The drug thing and them using us to fund all these programs in the background and using Big Meech, using Ricky Ross, these guys, and paying them all this money to really poison their people. What's your take on that?
It was warfare. That was what one of their tools of war. They just didn't ever expect that somebody like Big Meech would figure out how to use it as a teaching tool to teach his soldiers as prince how to be a king with money.
Yeah, Big Meech.
That's what he was doing. He was training the princes on how to live when you get wealth.
Yeah, every time you go to have a club, you go to the club and throw a party and you got an elephant up in there drinking, a giraffe. Yeah, Big Meech had an elephant and giraffe in the club with him. Yeah, you go to the club, you go to the club and like there's a giraffe and an elephant up in that joint. There's some gorillas, and they up in that chilling and drinking with gorillas. And the Fed said then, hey man, this dude got too much money. He going crazy. We got to do something. They started watching him hard there, bro. Everybody got Lambos, not just him. His whole crew got Lambos.
Sharing the wealth.
Yeah.
Can I ask Rod one final question?
Go ahead.
Brother Rod, you talked about, this is the last thing I want to say. You said something about we're gods or something like, but we have to either send it to our God self or tap into our God self or remember that we're gods. Can you give a brief synopsis of how we can do that?
A lot of it has to do with it's the shadow work. The shadow work is what breaks you out of the constraints to your power.
Okay. Shadow work meaning healing your traumas, confronting your issues, your demons, what you've been through, getting going through some type of rites to heal, to clear your consciousness, to clear all the trauma that you've been through.
Right, because when you clear up your own karma, you release generational curses. Right, because it's through these traumas that the generational curses resurface to live again in this time. So we have to overcome the traumas of the warfare that we've been under.
Yes.
Right. Yes. And nobody that I haven't seen yet that anybody set up a post-traumatic war disorder camp to go teach you how to recover from ancestral warfare from a protracted struggle. But the shamans in Africa still have soldier detox methods that they've been using for thousands of years to reassimilate the soldier back into the society without him being a pariah.
Okay.
By the way, Sigmund Freud was trained by African shamans. If you look at his desk, he got artifacts that he was gifted with when he learned certain lessons from certain shamans. They all over his office.
Wow. Yeah, being studying psychology in my undergrad program, you had to learn Sigmund Freud, learn who he was, learn about his teachings, and the things that, what do you call it? His doctrine, so to speak, his theoretical framework. I put it that way.
So they say he's the father of American psychiatry.
Yes.
Type in this name, Elder, so she can see this. Gustav Gustav Lebon, last name Lebon.
Mm.
They was
Bill.
using his works before they start using Sigmund Freud.
What? I didn't know that. Wow.
First name Gustav.
I got it.
Last name.
On Le Bon, spelled like L-E, then it's like a French. Okay, I got it.
Mm.
Right here, this dude.
Bond.
Yeah,
Ah.
that's his seminal work called The Crowd, the green book right there.
Okay, I
Okay.
got you. Let me say that.
I had to read that book about 10 times.
Mm.
It's good. It's a good read, but it's packed with information.
Okay. About the human psyche or what?
It's more, this one is more dealing with group psychology.
Okay.
All right, let me blow it up for you, Rod.
I can imagine that we need to read those books, and we need to read all type of information so we can know how to create or reinvent a society that's conducive to us thriving as a people.
Yeah, so all of this stuff I had to go through answering the grievances that I had collected over traversing the land. The type in this name, Dr. Benjamin Rush. You remember Willie Lynch?
Yes.
This is the works that Willie Lynch derived from. You see that book on bottom, all the way on the right? Second from the top. Well.
Oh, okay.
Hey, what say Rush?
No, go back over to the other way to the right. You're going left. That book. Click
Right
that. Let me see what that is.
All right, let me blow it up for you.
Benjamin Rush. Rush.
Rush. Where are you, Rush?
There you go.
Father of modern psychology. What? How come I never heard of him? Studying psychology.
Okay, now type in this word.
Okay.
I'm gonna spell it out for you.
Go ahead.
It's DRAPTOMINIA.
Which one you want?
Whichever, any one of them just telling you what it means.
All right, the second one right here. Let me blow it up. Come on, stop playing. All right, I'm gonna get it right here. That's the book that you got. And I don't need that slide. I think it's right there.
Delete Benjamin Rush.
I got you. Hold up. Damn. Oh, let's just blow it back up for you. Oh, it's right there. Oh, why is it doing it? Hold on, just a second. All right, delete it. There we go. Don't say what it is. What the definition? Hold on, let me look at this page right here. The all page.
Yeah, read that.
Tom Manna was a supposedly mental illness that in 1851, American physician Samuel A. Cartwright hypothesized as the cause of enslaved Africans freeing captivity.
Wow.
That's crazy. Damn.
Wow.
So that's where your Benjamin Rush psychology come from these guys. These is the ones that's laying this doctrine down in real time in the error that they claim that Willie Lynch was doing. But Willie Lynch letters, there's no person named Willie Lynch writing letters on how to keep slaves. The letters is actually the argument between Benjamin Rush and this guy.
Damn.
Wow.
Hey, ball cap disclaimer, man. I forgot to tell y'all about that ball cap before we came up. Man. That just probably cost a lot of guys a cap right today on this one. Hey, Roy, you can drop the mic and walk off the stage on that one.
Yeah.
I'm a Dracomaniac. I gotta admit it.
That was a gorilla knock right there.
I can't be enslaved. I can't take that shit.
So they was already the AIDS thing when they was going over into Africa and studying our genetics, or they could have been studying over here where it ain't no telling. But so all this is carefully orchestrated and planned over a period of time to target us as this pretty much annihilate us, genocide.
Yeah, it's a war.
It's
a war. Everything that we normally did was weaponized against us. So when we try to be ourselves, we getting trapped in weapons of warfare.
Right. Even psychology, man, even the study of the mind. Once they study how people's mind work, and then they say, "Oh yeah, we got to get them when they kids, because if we get them when they kids, we
Catholic Church doctrine. It's a maxim of the Catholic Church is give us your child for the first 7 years. We dictate the pace of the rest of their life.
Yeah, if you get them when they kids, the psyche on that, and you like.
That's why the matriarchy is to protect the children first. Because you can't let outsiders educate your child and think they're not going to use it to their advantage.
And you can't send them to some of these therapists, because when you look at the name, what the therapist breaks down to is the rapist. The rapist, the therapist. I was trained to be a therapist, so you have to finally, like, they didn't teach us this, but you look at the word and say, wait a minute, this don't sound right.
That's fire.
The rapist.
That's fire.
It's just like warrant is a war rant, which is a continuous declaration of war.
Wow.
Still prisoners of war. Everybody, all of our brothers that's in prison now, they're natives, they prisoners of war still in the jail.
We didn't need prisons before 1492. Matter of fact, the first prison wasn't to the 1800s. So why we all of a sudden need prisons? First prison was in Pennsylvania. Type it in, first prison in America.
So how do we deal with people who didn't abide by our laws?
We didn't have that problem before the invader came.
Wow.
We followed the great law, and that's hardwired into who we are. We didn't have a problem following the great law and the laws of the land because they were synonymous. When they talk about we the people, you got to translate that into Anishinaabe and you'll know what tribe they're talking about.
Hey, Roy, it said that prison was established the same year that dude just showed us, Rush, was arguing with that dude.
What?
God. Dog. Now that's
recent. That's like basically 1900s.
That's a connection there between that.
Right. So when they closed the prisoner of war camps, they called plantations, they still had to maintain a way to enslave the chief so we would reclaim the land. So that's why they converted castles into prisons to use conjure to draw us to prison. Because we're going to naturally gravitate to the castles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they tap the nature. If you want to get back to the castle, you got to go to prison first.
Jesus.
And me and Elder did a video on that showing the
Yep.
castles all over the land that they've been converted to prisons, mental institutions, and state buildings.
Yeah. And they
That's
took,
what they used for the salvage right, because all of the royalty, we left our palaces to go fight the Gullah Wars.
yeah.
Lewis and Clark was the ones who declared the land abandoned, and that there was the crash site of Plymouth Rock was much bigger than the Hudson Bay. So then they classified us under salvage law as lost at sea.
And not just the organic people, but everybody as long as they classify.
Everybody over here.
Okay.
Now, the only ones it don't apply to is those classified as free white persons in law.
Okay. Okay.
Wolf in sheep clothing.
Now the lawyers and judges and all those people with Esquire behind their name, they don't
Those
know.
are titles of nobility.
Yes.
Prohibited by the.
Go ahead.
That was always prohibited, but that was prohibited because of the Conjure War.
Oh.
See, we wasn't even supposed to call ourselves chief. If you look in the if you look in the law book, they got cases where we was calling ourselves chief, and we went to court about it.
We call ourselves Marcus.
Right. See, the Bar Association, which is the British Account Registry of Barristers, was first established in Savannah, Georgia by King George III in 1863. Then they moved the charter to the crash site and became the American Bar Association in DC. Right. Then they start franchising lodge houses all over the land because all of the bar associations is fraternal brotherhoods. That's why they don't none of them have a license to practice law.
Right. They still practicing. They still
Right. But the law that they write, they say that you got to have a license to practice law. The reason being because when you read the early colonial books, chiefs with feathers would come in and say, this is one of my tribesmen. He don't got nothing to do with what y'all doing over here, and walk out the court with you no matter what they charge you with. That's how Noble Drew Ali had the Moorish Science Temple set up. If he hadn't been backdoored by a dirty Moor, the Mufti, the Grand Sheik had the jurisdiction to go in and pull the bond and release you from prison, no matter what your charges was. Because you didn't have nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
But in order for us not to ever have that structure, they murdered him. We never did get back to the Circle 7 and Clarence 13 next because this is relevant.
Hey, we're gonna do it. I got a tape coming out. I'm gonna send you the thumbnail. It's called The Science of the Number 13. And number 7. And we're gonna break down that. Yeah, man, this is a lot, bro. This is a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. You know, when you talked about that this whole chattel slavery story was not the way, it didn't really happen. I stayed in Ghana for a while. I wouldn't go to the castle, speaking of castles, but they had slavery castles that they allegedly took us Americans from. You know, they said we were in Africa, you went through this slave castle, and you came to America. And
you ever heard of something called the Liberia Project?
No.
The Back to Africa movement.
I know what it is. I know about it, but I never heard what it was called.
That's when they took us from over here to over there. They told you the story in reverse.
Got it.
The terror came in as being taken to a foreign land that you ain't got nothing to do with by force.
You know, Dane Calloway from his channel, I'm Just Here to Try to Make You Think, has been saying a lot of what you're saying right now, and so the Moors will fight him on that.
Yeah, they tried to fight me too till I started busting their ass with these receipts, and then they got real quiet, and all I heard was
We ain't heard
crickets.
nothing else. We ain't heard nothing else after that.
It ain't got nothing to do with whether I want it to be true or I don't want it to be true. This is what the facts is. You argue with the facts. Don't argue with me.
Mm. Amen.
Hey, you said a whole bunch of quotes that could go on shirts tonight, bro. Take all the quotes out you did. Yeah, hey,
Roll it and sell it as merchandise.
yeah. I know that that get them, you know, that get the ones that with the king.
Get them niggas, Rod.
That joint there hot, man. That joint there is hot. Whoever did that, shout out the brother that did that, man.
With all this work that you two are doing, how can people, our family that's listening to this, and even when people from my channel tune in, how can we all support the work that you're doing, young elder, and that you're doing, Brother Rod Hayes? Because I know as a researcher, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy. It takes money. So if you're pouring into us, how can we then pour back into you?
Each one teach one. My gratitude is shown by you teaching somebody else what I just taught you.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right. I don't do it for the money, but if somebody asks for the cash app, I got to give it to them for gratitude purposes.
Thank you. What's the cash app?
$ capital S IK capital APE.
I already dropped the links for them already.
Good. I was okay. $ capital S capital A capital P capital A.
Only thing is capital is the S and the A.
Okay. Capital S capital A P A.
It's SIKAPE.
SIKAPE. Oh, okay.
Soldiers in Illuminati are present everywhere. Bust that motherfucking Bush program in the head. Foil in the garden plot. Thinking Evergreen. Evergreen, Hillary Clinton, CIA code handle.
Right.
And it's also the company responsible for giving boat rides to orphans from all over the world to various places that they sell children.
Peter Pan, Neverland, but they never come back.
Now, why do they have the Morris flag in the White House?
Because that's who the charter for the United States Corporation is a joint charter between the United States Inc., which is Virginia Company and Northwest Trading Company, and the Royal Moroccan Company. They were going to war. They was fighting on the high seas over the bounty that they captured over here to return to the crown in Europe. So the ceasefire agreement was negotiated in Paris. That's why they built the Eiffel Tower, because I fell in Paris, meaning the matriarchy. So they shipped us a drag queen over here and told us it was the Statue of Liberty because they passed it off the man as the rightful heir of the earth when it's the woman.
What?
The French is telling us because they got their ass handed to them by them motherfuckers in New Orleans back in the bayou. The same way the Gullers was doing it to the Spaniards in Spain. So they bailed out and they flipped the protectorate agreement to the English. The English used the protectorate agreement as the excuse to extend the salvage right. So they sent Lewis and Clark on an expedition to survey the land. When they survey the land, they find that all of the castles are empty because we all going to fight in the Gullah Wars. So when we started going back home after the ceasefire agreement that led to the Feather versus Fez Conjure War, they said it was an industrial revolution and we was going all everywhere we went because we was migrating for jobs.
That's what they said.
We was going home from the war.
What?
That's when they switched us out on the Trail of Tears.
What? Now, all this is going to come out eventually, right? And
we're already out. Everything I'm saying is already in the public domain. I just put the puzzle together. The pieces out there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, they already drove the totem pole and did the conjure, broke the conjure when they drove the totem pole and staked it in DC. And the Sherman sitting in the chair, Rod already showed it. Mm-hmm. It's that they don't show them. They don't, since these people, they control the media. There's a lot of things they don't show us. Like they didn't tell us, they didn't really publicize the 1992 when George W. Bush signed that agreement. That they didn't even publicize that. They kept it under the table. A lot of stuff they keep under the table that they don't want us to know, but it's going on. You know what I'm saying? Just because we don't know about it, it's going on in the background. The media is how we get all of our information. A lot of it. So they gonna keep all the stuff like what Rod's saying. They don't want to mask the 100 monkey effect to take place. You know what I'm saying?
They
Well,
also
I'm
don't want
not
to
get gorillas.
Too late for that. It's already the gorilla knock, baby. They already got the gorilla knock already. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we knocked knock the door off the hinges, man. You know what I'm saying?
Take us on home, Elder. I gotta go to the bathroom now.
Okay.
hey, peace and love, harmony, divine love throughout the boundless universe. Hotel, Islam, Shalom, Lechem. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people got a different way they say peace, but we mean
Peace. Namaste.
throughout the balanced universe to all. Ashuk. Wadu. We out. All right. Like, hey, thank y'all both for coming on. And like I said, we're gonna have a specific link to her page.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for coming over, Kia.
You're welcome, my darling. And thank you for having me, young elder. Thank you for inviting me, Brother Rodney.
You helped me. You helped me more than you know.
Oh, thank you. And thank you to the family for the family actually asked us to do this. They kept telling me I should collaborate with you, Brother Rahe. So I want to thank Sister Latanya, can't think of your last name right now, and Sister Latoya and all the family, Brother CJ Irving, all the family that asked that we do this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we on it now.
All right.
All right. All right. Love you all.
I gotta go pee now.
Okay.
Hey, Gorilla Clan back on the land, baby.